He's back on the track right now. Brown getting ready to start. We're off and running. Moto number 1. Snell gets the whole shot. Narita, Pastrana, Ward, Fonseca getting off the gate well. But Brown is back at about 15th or so.
You know what happened? A little plastic bag blew in front of his tire. It might have messed up his concentration at the gate.
Number 30, Greg Schnell, coming off that jump in first place. He's with MotorWorldRacing.com on that YZ250F. Narita on the outside, taking on Pastrana for second place. Narita moves into second on Pastrana.
You know, I wonder if Pastrana's getting a little tired of that. Narita's not riding the whole series. He's a Team Suzuki rider. Travis is trying to win this championship. He'd probably appreciate it if Narita would just stay back there behind him.
Narita running here in the United States, and he goes down. Pastrana takes second easily. He'll be going back for the Japanese Nationals. That one's the real counter for him. So Pastrana now in second place, as Schnell, number 30, starting to draw a little bit of lead.
Looking really good to this point, too, and I can't believe how far he flew off that big ski jump off the start. He landed almost at the bottom.
Larry Ward in third. He's had Yoshimura do his pipes and now engines for the first time, and he says it's a big difference.
Now Travis finds himself sandwiched between two of these YZ250F 4-strokes that have a little bit more torque than his bike. He's been having a hard time trying to match the power of everybody else in the class, but he's making up for it with desire and talent. He's a little bit heavier, but so is Larry Ward. Just got a little bit more power under him, that's all.
A great break for Schnell. This is his best start on the season. He's really quite a veteran in the 125 wars.
Now Morris, watching the race, I look over and he's standing there. I wonder what the heck, why aren't you out there? He had a tough time trying to qualify for that event. And look at him now, leading the race, and he's not blocking Pastrana to hold him off. He's riding a great race. Pastrana hasn't even been able to really put any pressure on him.
An outstanding start to our first 125 moto here at RedBuuuud. Pastrana trying to move within striking distance of Greg Schnell as the two, you can see, pulling a slight lead on Larry Ward in third.
You know what I really like about the sand, besides the fact the track will change a little bit, get rougher, a little bit rougher going into the corners with all the braking bumps, the fact that when they put a little water down on the racetrack, usually you see the guys getting splashed with mud. It just soaks right into the sand, makes perfect conditions.
A green flag after the first lap. We'll be back with more 125 action from RedBuuuud in a moment. Welcome back to RedBuuuud. 125 action. First moto as Mike Brown's mechanic puts out the board. He's trying to make his way up through the field after a mid-pack start. Let's check in with Davey for the Kawasaki bike setup.
The track here at RedBuuuud is fast and sandy. So for this week's Kawasaki bike setup, we thought we'd talk to Steve Henderson, Mike Brown's mechanic. Steve, what do you have going?
We have pretty much the same setup, David, as we did for Southwick. With our Bridgestone tyres, we have like a paddle effect tyre on the rear there. That's pretty much it.
Anything you're doing special for the sand?
All I've done is just some little things, really, just to keep the sand out, like this bit of foam in the throttle here, just to keep the sand out of the throttle, you know, when we get roosted from other riders. That's pretty much that as well.
Well, it worked at Southwick and it worked at Budds Creek, so we'll see how this week's Kawasaki bike setup works at RedBuuuud.
The battle is on here in our first moto, the 125s. Travis Pastrana starting to put heat on Greg Schnell. Pastrana with a great leap off that jump.
Trying to set him up for something, but it's hard to out horsepower that 254 stroke.
Pastrana to the inside. Clean pass, Pastrana, our new leader. And Ward is right behind Schnell.
Ward getting a face full of dirt, decides to drift over the berm, try to set himself up better for that section. But Travis pulls a tearaway there. Now he's got clean vision, and he should be able to pull away. He was all over Schnell, really putting the pressure on him, and I think Schnell could feel that. That's why he ended up a little bit too wide there.
As Ward puts the heat on for second place, let's take another look.
I see Travis had come up the straightaway so fast, and he was able to do it on the inside. Schnell knew it. He looked over. Well, you can have it. Now the best thing you can do is try to stay with Travis and learn from him a little bit, because Travis's lines out here on this racetrack are extraordinary. His ability to find the best line and make those changes lap after lap. Not everybody can do that.
Ward would like to make the move right now before Pastrana gets a bigger lead.
No, I didn't think he was going to check out this quick. but he is doing it, and Ward can sense it. He needs to get by.
Here comes Larry Ward. Number 30 is Schnell. 10 is Larry Ward. Similar machines, and Ward now takes the outside. Larry Ward moves into second place.
Now it's obvious Larry Ward is still riding with the confidence that he had at Budds Creek. The guy's on fire right now, and he does seem to have that bike dialed in. He's got a little bit of a power advantage on Travis, and that won't matter unless he can take advantage of it. He knows he has to stay close. Now when Schnell let Travis get by, he just wasn't taking the inside line. Here he's trying to take the inside line, the best line. Take the best line and force the guy to do something heroic. Larry Ward does around the outside, puts him to the inside in the next corner. So obviously Larry and Travis got a little bit better pace now than Schnell, and Schnell's got problems coming up from behind. He can't even focus ahead of him anymore because he's got pressure from Fonseca.
You can't argue with Larry Ward's experience. He's 31 years old. He's looking to get back for a full season in 2002. He's picked up several UST Top Privateer awards, being with the Moto XXX, not a full factory team. But Ward is putting on a good show right now.
This is a bummer for Schnell. You see how clean he is. He gets passed again by Fonseca, so everyone's riding right through him, and it's too bad that he couldn't find his rhythm a little earlier. He got the whole shot, and he's not taking advantage of it.
Pastrana, Ward, Fonseca, Schnell, and Grant Langston now getting into the play. Number 111. This is a phenomenal story.
It is, and when Langston rode Southwick, nobody could believe it. Here, I don't think he's in as much pain, but it's still got to be pretty tough for him. And you can see the momentum he has. Look at that, right past Schnell, no problem. Schnell looked over, could hear him coming. And the thing about Langston, if he sits out one more round like he did last week, forget about the title. Travis would be gone, so he has to tough this one out to stay in contact.
And as we've seen in the past, anything can happen to Travis Pastrana on a track.
He really hasn't had his share of problems yet. I mean, he's gotten some bad starts and had to come through the pack, but nothing major. Langston had to sit out a race and still riding with an injury. And you know what, Art? That's what it takes to win a championship. Several of the titles I won with injuries. You've got to ride no matter what.
I like his attitude.
He's a good kid. You know, I like what he has to say on camera. I like the way he rides. And maybe he shot himself in the foot a little bit going to Southwick, talking about, oh, I'll win that race. It didn't work. Whoa.
Slips out.
That's a deep sand berm right there, and it's tricky coming down that off camber. You know, Davey already pointed out how tough that was going to be for people. They almost come to a stop. He, in fact, did come to a stop. Lost the front end.
So Langston has his work cut out for him now to once again take on Schnell.
See Langston, he knows Brown's back there, and he cuts off the line. See these braking bumps right here? Watch what happens to Langston. He goes through all those, and it just wrecks his rhythm. And I don't think he has the strength in his shoulder to really tough that one out, so he just drops the bike, only loses one position, he's right back in it.
Back to the live action coming off the ski jump. Schnell, Langston, Brown, a good tight group right here. Brown fishtailing, Brown goes down, hits the deck.
Well, that's what I like about the sand here. It's making the track rougher. Those braking bumps are getting worse and worse. And Brown was just a little too aggressive through there. Watch this. See, he's leaned into the corner a little bit, and that back wheel skids off one. As soon as it hits the next one, it rebounds the other way. He didn't have a chance to save that. I don't care how strong you are. But a quick recovery. Brown is so strong and tough, man. He's already got the Kickstarter out before he even picks the bike up. He's thinking ahead. But
Brown dropping down in the standings now. Pastrana and Ward continue to dominate out front. Pastrana continues to lead. Larry Ward in second place. Let's check in with Davey Coombs in the mechanics area.
Well, Doug, what has gotten into your rider the last couple weeks? Larry's absolutely flying.
He likes this track a lot, and the bike's working great for him. He's totally pleased with that. And he's just out to have fun. He's not feeling any pressure. He's out to get as many points as he can and just out racing.
You think he can get after Pastrana today?
He's right on Pastrana. In the second practice today, he passed Pastrana and the little Japanese rider, and now he's out there right on Pastrana's back. So I think he's going to get him before too long.
Two very similar machines having a great back-and-forth battle with Schnell and Fonseca. Fonseca with a great lead, number 25.
Well, I think you can see the intensity in Schnell now. He came into that corner and almost went down just to try to get by Fonseca. So one or two things have happened here. Fonseca had a pretty good lead on him early on. He's either pumped up or Schnell has really picked up the pace. I think you can see in that corner back there, he's real serious about getting by now.
Let's check in now with Davey Combs.
Kenny, we're watching the battle for third between Ernesto and Greg Schnell. You guys have been in this position before this year. Unfortunately, the bikes broke a couple times.
Yeah, we've had some bad luck this year with some DNFs, but yeah, he's riding good right now. Him and Greg are going pretty good. It looks like it's going to be a battle right to the end.
Fonseca becoming the first rider in Supercross history to capture both the East and West 125 Supercross titles. He grew up on the small tracks of Costa Rica, though, and has had big adjustments coming here in the indoors. Another pass. Schnell getting back on Fonseca. Back and forth we go.
This is all out of the view of the mechanics. So they don't have a lot of time to figure out what's going on and get something on the pit board, a strategy for their riders. Fonseca just went a little wide there. I'm surprised he went to the outside when he had Schnell that close. I think, you know, they look up the track and see how far ahead it is of the next guys. I can't understand what's going through Fonseca's mind. He should go right to that berm. Schnell dives right in there. Like, hey, can you gift wrap that for me? Yeah, that couldn't have been a better gift.
It's obvious that Greg Schnell is trying to make an impression here in the midway point of our National Motocross Series, because he had such a disappointing time in the Supercross Series, starting the season with an injury and just never got on track.
These guys are pushing each other. I don't think they're going to catch the leaders. Travis and Larry Ward have checked out. If they can keep pushing themselves like this, maybe they can hold off the battle from behind. Brown is out of the picture now. Maybe they can hold Langston off. They're really just thinking about each other right now.
Well, they're making a great battle of it for the fans, that's for sure. As Brown now is experiencing more troubles. Let's check in with Davey Combs in the mechanics area. Davey?
You can see Steve Henderson, Mike Brown's mechanic, with Mitch Payton. What they're trying to figure out is what advice to give Mike Brown right now, because, guys, he has a flat rear tire. Right now, it's all about points for Brown in the championship, but after 2 good races, he finally gets a stroke of bad luck here at RedBuuuud. Brown has a flat rear tire in the first moto.
Well, I believe the decision is, you see all the wheels sitting in the back of that mule that Mitch Payton was riding around in. If he stops and gets a new rear wheel, he can go faster the rest of the race. He'll lose more time changing it. This happened to me back in the 500 National Championship days. I had a flat. Honda decided to pull me in. I got 9th. I could have gotten a 3rd with the flat. He's trying to decide what's the best move here to still get points.
If it were a front wheel, it'd be a totally different story.
Oh, you have no chance. Brandis got a flat at Budds Creek, pulled off. He knew he couldn't finish in the top 20.
Let's check in with Davey now, who's with our leader's mechanic, Lee McCullough.
Lee, you guys getting a lot of pressure from Larry Ward, but you got to be happy about the whole moto. Mike Brown with a flat tire, Langston not doing so well.
Well, Langston actually is riding not bad for being injured still, and Brownie, so unfortunately, he had some bad luck there, and I don't look for that for anybody, but Travis is riding good. Larry Ward's keeping him honest on that 250.
Notice he didn't qualify. It was a 250 4-stroke.
No, maybe they're just not happy to have to compete against that bike. Now, Travis, he won't complain. He's looking over his shoulder and shaking his head. Why is that guy still that close to me? He's 31 years old. Come on. And Lee used to be Larry Ward's mechanic, so
That's
maybe
right.
There's a little competition there.
Pastrana looking fairly smooth under pressure, though. He's coming off his poorest overall of the season, a 4th place at Budds Creek. How many riders had hoped that a 4th would be their worst on the season? Pastrana continues to lead, but Larry Ward's giving him some heat. We'll be right back with more 125 action. Travis Pastrana leading our first moto of 125 action, but right behind him is number 10, Larry Ward. Ward's first 125 win was back in 1989 at Southwick. His last one was in 92. So Larry's a little hungry right now. Also looking for a job for next year. He's right on the rear end of Pastrana. We've got a 1-2 battle now. Ward, a great leaping jump. Bar to bar they go. Travis Pastrana with the edge on the inside. Larry's giving it his all now. Oh, and Larry looked like he ticked the back wheel of Pastrana. Can he keep that 4-stroke running? They have a huge lead. What a break for Larry Ward.
Well, you know, he can't be disappointed in the way this moto turned out. He was all over Pastrana. Pastrana, the new sensation, the kid that is destined to be great, win lots of championships. Ward everyone thought he was pretty much just going to stay home, and here he is battling with this kid for the win, giving it all he had. He was just on the outside. Nobody's fault there. Travis took the best line. Ward was trying to make something happen on the outside, and yeah, you're right. He had a huge lead over third. He could afford to take his time and make sure he held that clutch in, because that left side of the handlebars is buried in the berm.
That was a key, keeping that clutch in and keeping that four-stroke running so he can hold on to second place. It is now a breeze on the final lap for Travis Pastrana.
Well, he must be pretty relieved right now. That was close.
The heel clicker to excite the fans. Travis Pastrana is looking for his 4th moto win of the year out of 11 tries. And he just adds more points to that lead in the championship battle. The checkers for Pastrana. He did well under pressure.
Yeah, he earned that one. He had to fight the whole way. And
What a great moto. What about that charge by Larry Ward at the end?
Man, I was in practice and Larry flew by me. I'm like, oh no, you know, what am I doing? But Larry is on the pipe today, just really flying. And we were doing a lot of testing with Suzuki during the week, and it really paid off. I got out to a great start, and you know, I think that's my biggest weak point right now. And if I can get out there, it should be good. I know Brown was stuck in the back, and you know, Langston's still recovering, but it feels good to get out front and not have to work my way from 30th. So Larry was on the gas, and it was a good race.
You know, Mike Brown, the closest guy in the point stands, he actually didn't even finish in the points by our calculations, flat tire.
Oh man, that's really it's too bad for him. It's good for me, I guess, but I seem to ride better when there's a big points chase. So I realized last weekend if I didn't pick it up, Brown was going to be there at the end, and you know, I think hopefully I can get it back going and establish another big points lead.
Looks like the hard work's paying off already.
Hey, thanks a lot, Davey. I just really like to thank Suzuki because, you know, we've been struggling a little bit at the beginning of the season, but I feel like right now they're put so much effort into this, and I think I have the fastest bike on the track.
The tough part for Brown, 23rd place, no points. But for number 10, Larry Ward, he came in 5th place in points. He's making a big play for 4th. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, Larry, we were impressed with your last ride at Budds Creek, but now we are real impressed. What an amazing charge.
Well, thank you. You know, Moto Triple X and Yoshimura and that YZ250 are a good combination for me. You know, about 4 months ago, like I said, I was sitting on the couch watching Travis win Supercrosses, and I gave it all I had. I really wanted to beat him bad, but he's a great rider. He's got a #1 on his bike for a reason, and I was just honored to race that close with him.
Tell us what happened on the last lap. It sounded like you were really making a charge, but it was down over the hill. I couldn't see it.
He missed a gear actually in those tight S turns, and I got right behind him, and it was a perfect place for me because I was a little faster than him up that sandy hill, and I got by him, but he was on the inside still, and neither one of us shut off all the way around the hill and down. And when he cut over, I was just too hot. I couldn't get stopped, and I hit his rear wheel and flipped off down the hill, and I was just so thankful that my bike stayed running. If I would have ridden that hard to get a 4th or 5th, I would have been really disappointed. But the second's as good as the first in the first moto. If I can, you know, my Yamaha will give me another good start, and I'll ride hard and hopefully come away with overall.
It's an excellent ride, Larry, and I hope the factories were watching.
Well, I'm a little old for the factories to watch, but it sure feels good just to race that good.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop's ongoing development with the help of top motocross pros. The all-new Geomax MX34 is the new industry standard for soft to intermediate terrain. Experience the advantage